Good work. All right, so our next comic, I actually know him, this guy. He actually just won Winnipeg's Funniest Person of the Day job this year, so please give a warm Marlboro Comedy Night welcome to Mike Green, everybody.
I think we were all waiting to come up with some sort of tag for Past Moses bit there. I just like the fact that I guess at the end, if you're yelling Moses back door, that means Moses is driving the bus. Moses the bus driver. Have a cool mental image. Just me? Alright then. I was at work the other day, and one of the things that I love to do at work when I have a little downtime is I like to read the horoscopes in the newspaper just for shits and giggles. But it was weird because the other day there was no free press around work, so I had to read the Jewish Post. I don't really like it. I don't know. All their horoscopes are the exact same for every single sign. It was just, today you're going to disappoint your mother. Jewish mothers, they're hard to please. I get away with doing that joke, by the way, because I'm half Jewish. I went recently, last year I went to Israel on a little program called Birthright. And the idea is that they actually, they want to entice, young Jewish people to come back and sort of see the country. So they'll actually give you a free trip to Israel if you're willing to sign up. And it goes to show just how well Birthright knows their Jews, because I've never had any interest in exploring my background. But I hear free, and I'm like, sounds like an interesting trip. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. And all my friends are like, you're aware that's like a war zone right there right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm also aware the price is right. How can I pass up such a bargain? The funny thing about Israel, or one of my favorite things I noticed right when I first got there is Israelis are tricky, man. Israelis are tricky. For example, I was staying in every hotel that we stayed in, I noticed at breakfast, they all serve Tang, but they put pulp in it. As if you'd be drinking it and you'd be like, it tastes like Tang, but there's pulp. I don't know, it must be orange juice. Like, no, Israel, that's not the way it works. You can't just trick us that easy. It's like when you go to Earl's and every girl's smoking hot, but you get that 1-6 who's just dressed like a 9. Like, you can't really... Ooh, everybody in here on an Earl server tonight. I apologize. Stepping on everybody's toes. And when I was in Israel, I also went to the West Wall, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like it's a big holy place. So they make it so that if you go up to the West Wall, you have to wear a kippah, or a Jew hat, as you probably know it. And it's funny because if you don't have a kippah, they're willing to give you these little loner hats, and it's basically just like, it's literally what it is. If you can picture like a Big Mac box, you cut in half, and you just take the top half of that. They give you these little cardboard squares to wear as a hat, as a kippah. And, I'm not sure that there is a God, and if there is a God, I'm not sure if he cares whether or not my head is covered. I just know that if I was God, I'd rather you just not cover your head at all rather than half-ass it with a fucking, Big Mac box on your head, basically. Because where do you draw the line, honestly? Like, I want to go to Burger King, get a Burger King crown, go back to the West Wall, and just be like, hey, what's up? It's my birthday. It's funny that I'm doing this material thing, because it's actually a solid year ago that I went. I left for Israel last February 15th, so it was just around now that I was leaving Israel. And I don't know if I expected that sort of trip to give me sort of guidance or direction, but it did not, I know that much, because a year later I'm sort of just as lost. Like, I don't know, before I left the trip I was in university, and then I came home and, well, don't get me started on university, but suffice it to say, I had no class today. Dropped out, and I don't know. It's hard to stay motivated when you're not in school. So I read lots. It's kind of influenced myself to learn. Recently, I read 1984, George Orwell's 1984. That's the book that, and a lot of you probably know the premise. It's just that crazy future where Big Brother's watching everything and all that. And I did not like 1984. I'll tell you right now. I don't know if it was my fault though, because I kind of have this thing I think most people might do, where Hollywood has taught you that every story is just going to end with hero beats the bad guy, high fives all around. So I read 1984 kind of with that expectation, and the first half of the book kind of sets you up for that. Like you meet this guy, and he's kind of living under the radar as far as Big Brother. He hates somebody, they're not onto him. Then he meets their rebellion. He starts to learn. You think he's going to turn it around and take him down. Then the second half of the book, he just basically gets shit kicked. And it does not go his way. And like right up until the last page, I was legitimately holding up. I'm like, I wonder how there's not a lot of time left. He's got a lot of them taken down. There's not only one page left, and I finished it. I was puzzled. I went to the front of the store. I was like, yo man, is there like 1985? Like I want to find out what's happening next. He does not take down Big Brother. It's a pretty depressing book. At the very end, the last thing that happens is he just submits. He gives in and he loses. And I was like, are you fucking shitting me, George Orwell? There's 300 pages I read for this, you know? Like, I want like when I sit down to read a book, I want like a rousing tale of adventure. If I want to get depressed, I got real life for that shit. I don't need books. And I don't know, equally lost in other aspects of life. Lost with girls. Girls are tricky, you know. People say things like, oh, you know, you shouldn't have emotionless sex. You shouldn't just have sex if there's no emotion in it. Question: is wanting to tell my buddies about it an emotion? Because if so, I'm alright. If not, I gotta change some things. That was a better response than I expected for that one. I was always touch and go when you rag on the ladies. I don't know. I was actually gonna come up here and do a whole bit about my ex. But I decided against it, because if you do jokes about your ex, it doesn't really impress the crowd, and it's kind of too easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel if the fish is a fucking slut. That's a good call. We're going to call it right there. My name's Mike Green. Appreciate all you guys coming out. Enjoy the rest of your night.
See you on the mic, everybody.